Hi guys, and welcome to Rufus and Doofus. Chico here, and a follow-up video on the video that we put up about inverters and televisions and such, okay? Alright, before everybody goes crazy, let's explain something here. Worried about pure sine wave versus, modified sine wave and such on a computer, television, whatever. But let's just do an example with the computer, alright? On a computer, laptop, when you plug it in, you are plugging it into AC, and here is what you're going to be plugging in. It looks just like this, and it's got an AC plug. That in turn goes into this little box, and for those of you who don't know what this little box does, okay, it remodulates the AC current down to DC current. So guess what? From the AC plug to here, we have if we're into the grid, we have a pure sine wave going in. What we have coming out of here is a straight line DC voltage. It's been modulated by this. That voltage is normally not 12 volts, but it can range from 8 volts to 20 volts to 22 volts. It depends on the manufacturer's preference when they build the computer. What you see here is built in to most of the newer TVs, smart TVs. The TV has AC, pure sine wave coming in from the grid, which goes to that rectification unit, which modifies the voltage or remodulates it down to DC. So the actual smart TV is running on DC, doesn't know the difference from, sine waves or anything, because they don't exist inside the TV. It's straight DC. So the only thing that could possibly go wrong if you were that far off on a modified sine wave, that you might hurt this, I doubt it, and you might hurt the unit that converts the AC into TV, but I also doubt that. Being that most things that operate such as this, all right, are working on a sine wave, and peak-to-peak voltage is over 110 volts. It's over that. The peak-to-peak voltage is more. The only part that we're using really in most equipment is the RMS voltage, and that is usually 0.707 of the curve. So that's the usable voltage right there, and it goes across. And if you were to trace that out, that sine wave, you would find that when you go up to the peak, to the 100, let's just say it's 125 volts, okay, 0.707 of that curve will be down here somewheres, and if you went straight across with a ruler, you almost have a square wave, which resembles very closely a modified sine wave, okay? So the difference is there, very minute. Unless you were way out of the ballpark, I think you wouldn't see any problems. I think that, again, we're being sold on a more expensive unit to do the job that can be done very safely with the modified sine wave, or modified sine wave inverter, okay? Because again, we're only rectifying too, but we're remodulating that voltage down to 12 volts. So my laptop never sees a sine wave, has no clue what a sine wave is. It sees straight line DC voltage, which has been modified by this, or remodulated, okay? Same thing with the TV. So I just wanted to make that clear. You guys can take a chance if you want, or you don't have to, and you can go out and buy yourself a pure sine wave inverter. Me, personally, I feel very confident and safe that there's not going to be a problem. Now, the other thing, 50% discharge on a battery, okay? That's it. We're talking, everybody's like, holy smokes, they're holding me to this 50%. It's not necessarily 50%, but any manufacturer battery, everything you read will tell you that a lead acid battery should not be discharged below 50%. If you do that continuously, you will damage the battery. Now, when I said I'm going to have solar panels, we're going to deplete the battery no more than 50% and replenish the battery with solar panels, blah, blah, blah. Hey, give me a break. There's going to be days where I don't use energy or any energy out of the battery. I won't deplete it at all. Then there's going to be days where I might use 30% of the stored energy in the battery. There might be days where I use 10%. Okay? So I'm not constantly going to go 50% and then stop, 50%. I mean, it's just not the way the real world works. It really isn't. So the solar panels, if they give off a constant wattage and a constant voltage, I can at least know how much is going into those batteries when they're functioning. And also there's a monitor, and it's going to tell me my rate of usage, it's going to tell me my rate of charge, and it's going to tell me how far I depleted the batteries. So guess what? No issue there. If a battery is discharged and charged properly, it will last a lot longer than a battery that isn't. Okay? Now, the house batteries are deep cycle, but take for instance a car battery. A car battery is a whole different monster, meant to give up a lot of power in a very short period of time. I'm sure you guys have car batteries in your car that are, 8 years old, some of you, okay? And that's because it's being discharged properly, it's not being abused, and then the alternator recharges the battery, and it does this, every time you start and go, blah, blah, blah. If you were to let that battery discharge, let's say you didn't use the car for a long time, and just through time the battery discharged itself down to 10-20%, it is going to damage that battery. And if you do it enough times, you will not be able to bring that battery back to its original state of charge. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Please forgive me if I sounded like, I'm going to discharge the batteries exactly 50%, and then my solar panels. No, that's not real world. Real world is different. So everybody relax, have a cup of coffee, be happy, kiss each other, shake hands, whatever you got to do. All right? All right, I love you guys. You take care. Thumbs up, please, if you don't mind, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.